Hello, and welcome to SoulSchool, and welcome to this series, Release Your Radiant Being. I'm going to make 4 videos on this topic, partly because I'm running a course by the same name, partly because I'm also about to release a new book this coming summer, Release Your Radiant Being. So in this episode, I want to talk about light. Now, you will probably be happy with the notion that an angel is a light being. I would call it a light template. So everything in creation has this template, a pattern in it that makes it appear and manifest in the way that it does. And that includes you and me and everybody. Now that angel of light, which is your template, is a guardian and a protector and a wise one that can support you in the material world because it's enmeshed in what you are. But for the most part, most of us get along with our lives assuming that what we experience with our sensation, as the experience of sensing, the 5 senses, is what we've got to work with in order to understand how to move forward, understand how to create what would be good for our personal lives, what would be good for our families. And we make the assumption that we're doing all the work and that the work has got to be done in that way and on that material level. And we very rarely give the angel of light within us the opportunity to reveal itself and give the abundance of the divine, which is our birthright. So in the first introductory session, I mentioned how so often people think that the guardian angel is just going to turn up. It doesn't turn up, as I said. It's always present. In some ways, you could say it's your job to turn down and allow it to release itself, to release the radiance that is within you. Everything in creation shines with divine light. And poets and mystics and prophets throughout the ages, they've experienced that radiance. They've seen it. Wordsworth, the poet Wordsworth, complains that he could see the radiance when he was young, but then it fades from his sight. I'm a great lover of Wordsworth. I studied the Romantic poets for my degree, and I love his poems, but I've always had the suspicion that he's wrong, that the radiance does not have to fade. And he says that it's an intimation of when he was a child, that sometimes he gets a flash of it. And that brings us to this idea we find in the sayings of Jesus, that until we become as a little child, we will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So what he's saying there is you do have to experience the world through the eyes of a child. The naivety and the innocence of seeing the world in all its radiance reminds you that you are part of it, you are one with it, and you are also a radiant being. One of the other things that Jesus says is, if your eye be single, then your whole body will be full of light. And I was very intrigued by that. I wasn't brought up on Christianity of any kind, and I've only learned some of these things in my older years after having various experiences. So I was puzzled by it, but it made sense to me because I had my own experience of being filled with light. So what he's saying there, if the eye is single, if you look at the world in that uncluttered, clear, direct way, perceive it for what it is, undivided, non-dual, unseparated, then you see the light. You see the light out in the world. You experience the light inside you. And that takes us back to the story of the Garden of Eden. Because what happens there is that the snake, the Nahash, who is a wise one, but is also a tempter, suggests that Adam and Eve should eat the forbidden apple, or fig, or whatever it is. And they've been forbidden to eat of that because then they will know good and evil. They will know two things. They will know duality. And one of the words that we use for devilry is diabolical. And the first part of the word, dia, means to divide. So that story is about consciousness. It's about a stage in human development and evolution when we divided our perception so we could see one thing and the other thing, this and that, dark, light, up, down, separating things in order to understand the world. And why did we want to understand it? Because we wanted some power over it. We didn't want some invisible God, quote, to be in charge of us. We wanted the sensation of experiencing the power that a human being can wield when it divides the world into different things and then grabs, manipulates, grasps the world and develops all the wonderful technological things that we've got right now. And we can't go back on that. But perhaps we could step sideways slightly and say, okay, we've got all these things, we've done all that, but basically we're not kind of like happy humanity at the moment. So what would bring us joy? A joy that's quite different, quite all-encompassing, that doesn't include going to the supermarket or to the shopping mall or to the movies. Those are okay, but they don't satisfy for very long. They're not the kind of joy and delight that fills your whole being. And they're addictive as well, so that leads to lots of problems. So the joy of being in the light is so immense, so potent within you, within every fibre of your being, that some of the other things actually won't satisfy you anymore. I have to warn you. But how do you get there? What is there within you wanting to be released, understanding what that could be, getting a feeling of what that could be, leads you forward to finding out what is blocking that radiance. And that's what I teach in this course and what I explain in my book. What I'm explaining is that you need to unravel the confusion and I call them mind cuffs, not handcuffs, mind cuffs. And they're related to karma, to old things that have happened in the past, not always good, not always bad. They are to do with your stories about who you are, where you've come from. And releasing some of that can be a challenge, but it allows you to step through a series of what we could call gateways or shutters into deeper spaces of consciousness. And as you go deeper, the light gets brighter. So I hope this first session will encourage you to find out more. You can join a course of mine. I take very small groups, so if you wanted to join a group coming up soon, please get in touch quickly. And there will be the book coming out this summer. So make sure you stay in touch. Subscribe to my channel, Theolyn.com. Subscribe to this YouTube, then you'll know when the next one comes. And I will take you on this journey just over the next few weeks so you can begin to get this feeling that something in you could wake up and could be released and could change all your feelings about your life. Many blessings. Don't forget to stay in touch. Goodbye for now.